Miami Dolphins beat the Las Vegas Raiders at home 34-19. It is the second straight win for the Dolphins to improve their record to 4-6 on the year. It's also the first time this season they won back-to-back games, with their previous 3 wins coming in Week 1, Week 5, and Week 10. So impressive work by Miami to return home on a short week against the Raiders, who had a bye week. And I don't want that to be understated. We'll talk a lot about this game, the defense, the offense for each side. And I know a lot of people are going to come out and say, well, the Raiders are not a good team. The Dolphins deserve to win. And the fact that it was even a little bit close late is not that impressive for this Dolphins team to win. Well, I'm not in the business of caring if it's an impressive win or not. The Dolphins are just trying to fight back in the playoff contention. And I'm going to be happy with any win that the Miami Dolphins have. And when you do play on a short week and you played Monday night, the Raiders had 2 weeks to prepare for you, and you still came out and just absolutely lit them up. You did. You lit them up. You won 34-19. You scored on every single possession you had. Every single one. You did what the Bills did to you 2 weeks ago. You started the game off with a touchdown, then a field goal, and then they were all long drives in the first half. So then you had a drive that took you to the end of the half with 30 seconds left. I don't count that. But then in the second half, field goal or touchdown, 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 field goal. Like this offense was absolutely humming. Tua Tagovailoa looks spectacular once again. Ever since he's returned for this Miami Dolphins team, they have been awesome offensively. And it's just been the best part about this is clutch, clutch, clutch. Think about this, folks. When you really go through since Tua's return, maybe you can knock the clutchness of Tagovailoa in this offense against the Cardinals, choking that game late, not being able to have a put-away drive. Sure. But against the Bills, you trailed 27-20. Tua went down the field and tied that game up with 1.5 minutes to go. Against the Rams, you needed a put-away drive. You got in field goal range and put the game away with some clutch plays late. And then today, the Raiders got it close. It was 24-19. And then what happened? Right down the field for the Dolphins offense, another touchdown, and you were able to put the game away before the Jalen Ramsey INT, which really sealed it. I mean, Tua was fantastic today, guys. 28 of 36, 288 yards, 3 touchdowns. The offensive line did their job in the passing game. Tua only got sacked twice. We could talk about the run game because it's now 2 straight weeks where the run game kind of struggled for Miami. But you saw a really good job pass blocking. Guys, did Tua get sacked and one of them was strip sacked? Yes. Did we see Max Crosby put his fingertips on this game and really impact how this game finished? No. Max Crosby was basically non-existent in the passing game. And there is no other thing that could be more exciting than holding them to not have their best player have any impact in this one. It was an impressive game by the Miami Dolphins on all fronts, in my opinion. We'll talk about the defense in just a second. But what was your biggest takeaway from this game as the Dolphins won 34-19? Get down in the comments section and let me know what you guys thought the biggest thing was from this ball game. As we talk more about this game, it's to me the offense. And we're going to get to the defense in just a second, but we talked about how clutch Tua was. Well, think about this. Since this is the 4th game Tua has played since returning from IR. 4th. 27 points against the Cardinals. 27 points against the Bills. 23 points against the Los Angeles Rams, and 34 against the Raiders. Now, are the Raiders' defense that unbelievable defense? No. But that is 4 straight games that you've scored 20-plus points. And this is the first game you've scored 30-plus points this season. Also, I'll point this out. Week 1 against the Jaguars, you scored 20. So every game that the Miami Dolphins have had Tua start and play all 4 quarters, start and play all 4, they have scored 20-plus points. The offense continues to play well with Tua Tagovailoa at quarterback. My goodness. And it's been awesome to see. And as the defense continues to play better, this team is only going to be able to put more complete performances together and stack these wins. We're going to talk about some other offensive performances, including Jonnu Smith, in just a second. But we got to tell you about our proud sponsor on today's show, and that is DraftKings. The Emirates NBA Cup is here. You can win big getting in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. All 30 teams, split into 6 groups, every Tuesday and Friday playing for the right to advance in the single elimination in-season tourney, culminating in the NBA Cup Championship in Vegas. First time, here's something special just for you. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook. Every point counts. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code HEATCHAT. That's code HEATCHAT for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/bball. And my plays for Week 11 on DraftKings were as follows. We went 1 and 2, and we were both straight bets, so they kind of canceled each other out. But I had Miami Dolphins minus 7.5. We won by 15. Always knew the Dolphins were going to win this by double digits. The Raiders were never going to stand a chance. I had the Raiders under 14.5 points. I went a little bit aggressive, plus 154. Didn't play out. When you bet on DraftKings, all lines and odds subject to change, but make sure you download DraftKings, use promo code HEATCHAT, which is our dual code for both Heat Report and Dolphins Today here, and you get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 wager. Shout out to DraftKings for sponsoring today's show. They are the #1 sportsbook and casino, and it's the only one that I use when I wager on sports. All right, let's get more into some offensive performances here because you want to know who is really coming along as of late. Jonnu Smith. His best game as a Miami Dolphin. 6 receptions, 101 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had the first touchdown of the game for the Dolphins when great play design by Mike McDaniel got him in motion coming across the offensive line on 4th and goal from the 1 in the first quarter. They snap it, and the person just couldn't catch up to him running across the formation as they recognized his man coverage. Jonnu Smith on a little wheel route, quickly turned around. Tua hits him back shoulder, touchdown. Dolphins go up 7-0. And then the put away drive. 24-19, and it was an interesting play. Tua gets pressured, steps out of the pocket, chaos on the back end for the Raiders. Jonnu Smith wide open in the back end. It's a 50-yard touchdown pass to Jonnu Smith, who has been excellent for Miami. The Dolphins had a Week 6 bye. It was early bye, and I remember, and I want everyone to go back to this. There was a quote that came out of that said one thing. They said that during the bye week, they tried to figure out more ways to get tight end Jonnu Smith the football because he's one of the best yak tight ends there is in the entire NFL, and they needed to use him over the middle of the field more often. And since then, he's been sensational. They've gotten him involved a lot more. He had a clutch play last week against the Rams, a 34-yard catch and run down to the 1-yard line. He had 100 yards and 2 touchdowns today. Jonnu Smith is starting to come alive for this Dolphins offense, and if we're being honest, he's the 3rd best pass catcher on this team. Tyreek Hill is still #1. A good game for Tyreek, by the way. 7 catches, 61 yards, and a touchdown. Tyreek Hill really starting to come back into form since Tua returned from IR. But Achane is always going to get targeted a lot. And then you have Jonnu Smith. Right now, I would rank the top 3 pass catchers for Miami. Tyreek 1, Jonnu 2, and Achane 3. That's how much Jonnu Smith is being used. That's how much Achane's being used. It's a down year for Jalen Waddle. He's had some drop issues as well. He had a couple big catches today, and he drew a pass interference call as well on a 3rd down, which extended a drive, which led to the Jonnu Smith touchdown as well, which was huge. But, man, what else can you say about Jonnu Smith? It's been absolutely awesome to watch him continue to develop in this Dolphin system. I want him to be around this organization long term because I truly believe he can be someone to really help this football team go forward with their goals in the NFL. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel because we're still going to be dropping content on a daily basis, sometimes multiple videos a day. We crossed 64,000 subscribers on the watch party this past Sunday, and we're on the road to 65K right now. So hit that sub button and join the channel because we're going to have you covered on everything surrounding the Miami Dolphins. All right, let's wrap up today's post-game show and reaction with some talk about the defense because even though the team won by 15 points and everything looks good on the scoreboard, 34-19, there is some major concerns that I have on this ball club. And it mainly works on the tight ends discussion because Brock Bowers absolutely demolished you. He was the only weapon for the Raiders. Only. So it's the only one that you had to cue in and make sure doesn't beat you. 13 catches, 126 yards, and a touchdown. Your linebackers can't defend tight ends in zone coverages. Your safeties struggle to make the tackles. And we need to have a conversation about Kader Kohu's inability to tackle as well, because he also resulted in Amir Abdullah's touchdown late to make it a one-score game because he couldn't tackle on 3rd and goal from the 10 in a play that was in the flat. It's been disgusting to watch some of the tackling attempts made by this team, and specifically going up against tight ends. Remember 3 weeks ago when you played the Cardinals? Trey McBride, what did he do to you? He cooked the crap out of you. Over 100 yards, dominating you also with 10-plus receptions. And then Brock Bowers does it today, 13 catches, 126 yards. If you want to continue to stack wins, you want to continue to make a push for the postseason as you are attempting to do with back-to-back wins. You have the Patriots coming into town next week, a game that you should win to get potentially back to 5-6 before Thanksgiving against the Packers on the road. You need to figure out a way to defend tight ends. You have not been able to do it. Think about the teams that you're going to have to play if you do make the postseason. Pat Freiermuth in Pittsburgh, Travis Kelce in Kansas City, Dalton Kincaid in Buffalo. Like, you can't, Mark Andrews, like, you can't continue to win and give up this many yards and plays to tight ends just to, like, you're not, it's not sustainable. You can't do it. So, yes, you need to be better defensively against tight ends. I liked what the Dolphins did in terms of pressure. You had 3 sacks today. It's better than what you've been doing. You had 4 sacks against the Rams, 3 sacks today. And after having 3 weeks of Bills, Cardinals, Colts of having 1 sack, it's nice to have 7 sacks in the last 2 weeks. So that's an improvement defensively for the Miami Dolphins, which is always nice. All right, that's going to do it for today's post-game video. Initial thoughts here. We're going to have more thoughts on today's game tomorrow morning in our Overreaction Monday video, and we'll also come back with a video later on the day too as well. So make sure you hit that sub button. Make sure you follow me over on Twitter as well. At Nic_Rohloff is my handle. I'm talking about the Dolphins every single day over there, as well as highlights during games. So if you want to be the most informed Dolphins fan, be subscribed and make sure you follow me on Twitter.